So this is the big weekend, fellas, as I just did a show on the holiday weekend. In my memory, girls are always much looser, more easier to bone this weekend. Jovina, maybe you can offer some light on that.
Well, they're more relaxed. They're on their own time. They're not on anyone else's time. So
Is that what that's to do with? Because
it is.
They feel more, I don't know, comfortable. Like you know, during the weekdays, you guys got to go to work. You guys stress because women tend to stress on stuff.
Well, because they have a lot on their mind when it comes to work, depending on the job they have.
Yeah, so they seem like, you know, if their mind's preoccupied, they're not in the mood to be approached.
No, they are not.
And I've noticed that on holiday weekends, they're much looser and easier to bring home that night.
Because they know that it's a weekend to relax and just kick back and no worries. Everything else, like work, everything else is out of their heads, and all they're thinking about is having a good time.
Interesting. So there is some actual validity to what I was saying. And I actually never thought about it like that, you know, from that point of view. Now that I realize, you know, you're right, because they don't have to worry about going to work the next day. Plus, they got an extra day off, and that extra day off makes you feel, I've noticed, and you feel
something
like,
to look forward to, basically.
Yeah, you feel almost like you're elated.
Yeah.
If you understand what that means. Euphoric.
Yeah, it's just something to look forward to. Something that's even further makes them relax.
You guys, not them.
Well, I'm talking about, when I say them, I mean the ones that are out there. I'm not out there anymore.
Well, when you were out there, weren't you much easier to...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. You admit it. Yeah.
I looked forward to the holidays or vacations.
And you were at the clubs on holidays, weren't you?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. You and your girls, your posse.
Of course.
Is that when some of the girls would drive down from Chico?
Yes, they
would.
Would two of them.
Party, yeah, the two girls from Chico. Yeah, drive down Chico. You guys go out to the clubs.
Yep.
And of your friends, how many of those would get laid on 4th of July?
Anybody who wanted to. It depended on their moods. Sometimes if they really were in a pissy mood about something, maybe they wouldn't. Or actually, it kind of depended on what we had to pick from.
You know, guys, notice that? She said to pick from. Think about that now. She said to pick from.
Exactly. If we didn't see anything we liked, then we went home alone. If we saw something that
we liked, then you went home.
It was on.
It was on. Okay, game on. You guys hear that? And that's what the average chick these days. And she's a grown-ass woman. Okay, just think how the younger chicks are.
This was happening in my 40s, so
yeah.
You know, think about the ones in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah, exactly. Just multiply that. So, something to pick from. That means you got to be something to choose.
Absolutely.
Something to pick from. Interesting choice of words. I'd never thought of it like that. You know, I just use the word choose. But that really sinks home when you say something, you know, to pick from something. There's a whole pool of guys there, and they got to pick out the ones that you like or feel, or how would you put it?
That you feel an attraction to, that you
feel something.
Exactly.
You feel something.
It is a feeling.
As I've been trying to teach fellas, it's about feeling. Yeah, it is a feeling.
They need to realize that that's what it is.
Exactly. It's not necessarily based on the looks.
No.
You know,
that's a part of it, but that's not the whole thing.
Exactly.
Like I said earlier, it's the whole package.
Exactly. A guy who
it's a package
looks
deal.
good and feels good is the best choice. But there are guys who don't look good that feel good to you. Is that true?
Well, because some guys just ooze with confidence and ooze charisma, or I don't know. I can't think of other words.
Mr. LaCourche, or whatever his name was. We watched that video of that light-skinned player who's doing affiliate marketing on the YouTube, and then there was a dark-skinned guy.
Oh, yeah, exactly,
he kind of
exactly like that.
Had more confidence, and he kind of had more charisma.
Yeah.
Mr. LaCourche or something like that.
I can't remember the name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's probably will watch this to get the light-skinned dude.
Exactly.
Like you said you found the darker, shorter guy more attractive than the taller, light-skinned dude.
I did.
Yeah. No offense to you, brother. Wayne
No,
B.
no,
Was it
absolutely not.
Greg B.
I
Greg
can't
B.
remember their names. I just remember we saw that not too long ago. So.
Exactly. And you said, he's got a lot of confidence.
He does.
More than the taller guy. Yeah.
He is just oozing out through his pores, and women notice these kinds of things.
Yeah, you see the smile and
Yeah, women notice that kind of
exactly.
stuff. That's the first thing that they're going to notice.
And this guy was very, 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 very dark-skinned.
Yeah, he was.
And I saw him, hoe chasing women in the streets, but he's carrying some charisma with him.
But he's got a lot of confidence.
Exactly.
In himself.
Exactly. Not you motherfuckers on the net. Not like that level. So anyway,
and he knows what to say, how to say it, when to say it.
I'm sure he does. We didn't see part of that, but yeah.
No, I mean from what we could see from his conversation.
Yeah, that he knew what he was talking about. So you fellas out there looking for other people to listen to, I would recommend him. And I'm not sure what the channel was, but whatever. Anyway, so something to choose from. Charisma and confidence will level the playing field if you don't have the looks.
You also need to dress well, because women do look at that.
That's true. That's one thing that
adds to your
Cruz didn't. You said you should have wore a different shirt.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I saw. He was a little too casual. He was wearing the jacket, but the T-shirt.
The hat was turned backwards.
It was just a couple of things that if he
cleaned up, he would have really been rocking.
He would be blowing up.
Blown up, exactly. Which is really cool for our darker skinned players, who have issues about that. If they could watch someone like him in action.
Yeah, but that's just it. He doesn't seem like he has issues with his skin color.
Exactly.
And which is a good thing, because that's what's helping him to be the way that he is. That is what's helping him in what you call the game. I hate saying that because I don't know. I don't like to consider it a game, but I guess that's what it is.
Whatever. Yeah, it is a game, but a lot of people don't like calling it the game.
I don't know. I just don't like that word particularly, but that's me. But. I know that's what you call it. That's what you call it.
I like the game.
I know you do.
The game of life. There's some white folks.
It is. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that word, though. It is the game of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They don't like that. That's what black folks call it, too. We call it the game.
I know.
That's black. I think it's a black term.
I know.
Think about it. And anyway,
okay.
So we've been talking about feel. How you have to feel a certain way to women. And part of that feeling Jovina was discussing was confidence. What else did you say? Confidence and...
Charisma.
Charisma, okay. That's a very powerful word, charisma, fellas.
There's a reason why it's powerful.
Because charisma is powerful.
It is.
And what she actually means is magnetic appeal or attraction. Because charisma is something a lot of people don't realize. They confuse that word with magnetism. Charisma is something that you create in other people by displaying certain qualities. Then people see you as being charismatic. So those are two things I'll be exploring in the near future. How to develop personal magnetism and how to develop your charisma. That's one of the elements I had to develop when I was doing public speaking. Was my personal magnetism and my charisma. Let me say that those are two qualities that will help you a lot in your game, having both those down. And that's what comes into that whole package under the name of swagger. You have that confidence, you have that charisma, that magnetism, and you move a certain way. You stand a certain way. Women can tell when you're sitting, when you're standing, whether a man has that quality or not.
Comes across in their voice, the way they talk.
Yeah, it comes across in your voice. It's a attraction that happens, whether even through video it happens, across the internet or whatever. Women can feel it. So that'll be the next projects I'll be working on. The next one is actually how to fuck, how to last longer in bed. And then I'm going to explore developing your charisma and then also developing your personal magnetism. So, as I said, we were talking about those elements, or Jovina was, brought it up and mentioned it, and I hooked up on it. Now, inside the club, you see a lot of different types of people there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you describe those types, Jovina?
Oh, jeez. You're talking men, right? Or
Yeah, men.
Or
Men. Just the men.
well, there's the ones that always get the girls, which are the ones with the real big person, the real huge personality that has that charisma and that whole attraction thing. Then there's
huge personalities.
Then there's other guys that have a huge personality, but they overdo it with the personality. They don't have that charisma that is needed. They just have a big personality and they just talk loud.
Yeah, those are loud.
Jump into a conversation with somebody without being invited. You know that type. That there's a difference between big personality and another type of big personality. That's two types.
Oh, okay.
Then of course there's the nerds who are sitting there just staring and drooling.
Yeah, there are black nerds, fellas. Yeah.
There's always a couple. Guys. There's always a couple of those. And then there's the average guy that doesn't really stand out much. That possibly, if they did really worked on themselves, they could stand out a little more. Mm-hmm. They just kind of blend in. Mm-hmm. So, of course, all kinds of different personalities, and that's what makes the world go round. Is all kinds of different personalities. Mm-hmm. But if you want to stand out, you have to let that charisma shine through.
That magnetism shine through, because charisma happens in interpersonal communication. You
well, that's true.
Develop that to someone else.
But when you're talking to someone, a woman,
you can tell. Yeah,
is
exactly.
going to sense that. You have to have that. So if you don't necessarily have the looks, but you have the magnetism and the charisma, that can win that woman over.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. 110%, if there was such a thing. Interesting. So think about that, fellas. How big is your personality? That's why I urged you guys, I begged you guys to join Toastmasters. I told you and I told you and I told you. And knuckleheads get it eventually. I want you guys to be one of those 5%ers who jump on it right away. If I say this is something good to develop, you jump on it and do it. Just fucking do it. Don't debate it. Even got to dig in the couch, and it's not even expensive. It's like $40 every 6 months or some shit like that. You spend that in a nightclub, on one weekend, going out having drinks with your boys. Where somebody could have developed that bigger than life personality over a weekend. You spend that in a weekend where you could have spent 6 months developing that bigger than life that she talked about personality, which is something she never mentioned before. It's interesting she said that, that bigger personality thing. And I look back and I see that is one of the things you got to have. Because I recall standing in the club next to the guy I nicknamed Stripper Boy, and I recall projecting my energy out and trying to be bigger than the room. Okay, so it was a metaphysical energy thing I was doing, and it worked. His women, they were all up in his jock, which soon started being on my jock. Okay, so these are some of the things that we'll be looking at in the future. We'll be looking at how to fuck, last longer in bed, how to develop charisma, and how to develop that personal magnetism. Stay tuned, fellas.